Okay, to start a new analysis, clients will log in and land on the dashboard. They're going to be able to see all of the reports that have been generated since they started using the system, all of the data that's been uploaded, probably the most useful information, any failed data rows that come through, the total number of data rows that have been updated. They'll be able to see all their recent reports get pulled through here, not just the report itself, which they can access this way, but if they've got questions about the source data, the underlying data is available right here on the dashboard as well. There's an error log and a notification log so that admins can easily see activity. And then if they've got any tickets open with us for issue resolution, they'll be able to see that. So if I'm starting a new report and thinking about how to convert an existing data set into a complete analysis, the first step is going to be jumping into template management. So every report starts with a new template. You can see that as we go through and generate reports, all of our historic templates are saved here. So if someone wanted to go through, go back and access a previous template to see how it was configured, it's here and easily accessible. For this report, we're going to create a new one. So we're just going to click the Add Template button. That's going to ask you to name it. It's going to pull in your company name. A few pieces of information that you've got to give the system: the number of employees, so really the number of rows that are going to be in your file, right? Salary type, are we talking about annual salary or hourly? The system can accommodate either one, but it has to be one or the other. In other words, you can't upload a file that is half hourly pay rates and half annual salary rates. The next question is about the number of employee groups. So the way to think about this is when we're analyzing pay equity, we want to make sure that we're comparing what most laws refer to as similarly situated employees. Now, for really large organizations with thousands and thousands of employees, sometimes they can get down to the individual job code level. In other words, if I've got 1,000 customer service reps, I may select one group. I may say one of my groups is customer service reps because that is a sufficient amount of data to run an analysis on. So for the sake of this template and keep things simple, we'll say we're going to look at 4 employee groupings. So again, basically what I'm telling the system is I want to create 4 sets of analyses comparing each one of these groupings individually, right? So it's not that we're putting all 4 of these together into one set of charts. It's that each one of them is going to have its own analysis, and all the employees I want to compare to one another for group 1 will be compared to each other, group 2, group 3, group 4 separately. The system is set up so that you can name your employee groupings whatever you want. You do want to make sure obviously there's a link between these names and what the groupings are called in your source data. From there, the template is sort of pre-populated with a number of options that you can pull into the analysis. You can include or exclude just by clicking these toggle buttons on the right. Employee name is not a required field. I should say there are no required fields here. It's really just pull in what makes the most sense for you. What we see clients most commonly do, pull in gender and pull in race. So you'll see when we click those 2 that we're getting asked, what are the number of genders? And the reason the system does this is we've programmed it to allow not just for 2 potential gender selections, but in truth, any number that you have the ability to report on. So if you said, I've got 4 different gender designations set up within my HRIS, you can tell the system you have those 4, and then you'll just want to make sure that you populate each of these 4 options with those designation codes exactly as they're written in your HRIS. Same thing with race. There is no hard-coded list of race here. You've got the ability to select as many as you need or as many as map over to your HRIS or your data set. And then you're going to populate with whatever custom information maps, again, directly to the way you've got those codes defined or written within your HRIS. And it's important that those are precise and exact, because that's the way the system marries your raw data from your HRIS with the analysis, is by looking at these abbreviations or words and comparing them to your raw data file. So it's really critical that whatever you type in these boxes correlates exactly to what's in your HRIS. One last functionality to highlight on the template is this add button here at the bottom right. This essentially allows you to add a variable that is not accounted for in our sort of standard list here. So if I said I want to add a column, and let's say I want to be able to cut the date by rehire. So I can select rehire. This is just sort of a made up example. You could literally put anything in here that you're able to report out on. For the sake of this demonstration, we're going to say there are two options, no and yes. And your template now would populate with essentially space for gender, space for race, and anything that you put in these boxes, and then your space for rehire. And so here we've added the custom no rehire or yes rehire. Once you've got that done, you're going to click Save and Generate. But once you go into Save and Generate, you're going to see your templates here. You're going to go to Data Management, upload your data. I'm just going to open an upload screen where you can click to add a file and browse on your machine to select that completed Excel file and upload it. Again, just like all of the other menus here, anytime there's activity within this menu option, it gets archived. So every time we upload data, it's going to get archived so that if you're looking at an analysis at some point in the future and you'd like to see the underlying source data, it's all here. So you can see what that looks like when we want to go back and reference some archived source data. Finally, once you have your data uploaded, you will see that in a matter of seconds, it's going to automatically generate the report for you. And you can access the report directly from here, or you can go into report management and see your archived list of reports. And let's say we're going to access it from the report management tab. This is going to populate the actual report for us. You can export this to a PDF if you'd like. When you do that, you lose a little bit of the sort of zoom functionality on the charts. I'll show you in just 1 minute here. So when a client goes through and executes this report, the client logo will show up here. Some just general information about the report itself, date, what the organization name is, confidentiality statement. And then we get into our table of contents. From an introduction perspective, really what we're doing here is laying out our methodology. So we're talking about the data collection process, the analysis parameters, and the methodology behind the regression tool.